Hello dear students, welcome to today's class. So, how are you today? I hope you are doing well and staying safe at home. Can you remember my name? Who am I? I am Pranati Hasta and I am going to take your English class of class 5. And what are we going to learn today? What are we going to learn today? Actually, you can easily understand what is today's learning topic from these sentences. Look carefully. Each sentence start with a question word like how, who, and what. Again, each question word start with the letters like W and H. So, when an interrogative sentence start with this type of question word, we call them WH question. And today we will learn about WH question, or we learn how to make WH question. Okay. Here is a simple definition for you. WH questions usually start with a question word beginning with WH or H, and we use these types of questions to ask for an information. These answers cannot be yes or no. I am going again. WH questions usually start. WH প্রশ্নগুলো সাধারণত শুরু হয় with a question word, একটা প্রশ্নবোধক শব্দ দিয়ে beginning with WH or H. যেই প্রশ্নবোধক শব্দগুলো WH অথবা H এই লেটারগুলো দিয়ে তৈরি, and we use these types of questions এবং আমরা এই ধরনের প্রশ্নগুলো ব্যবহার করি to ask for information, কোনো তথ্য জানার জন্য. These answers cannot be yes or no. এর উত্তরগুলো হ্যাঁ অথবা না দিয়ে কিন্তু আমরা দিতে পারি না. Let's try to understand with an example. Here is a question for you. Are you from Dhaka? Look carefully. To answer this question, we need not to tell the information where I am from. We can just say yes, I am, or no, I am not. Again, here is another example, and it is where are you from? Try to understand carefully. Where are you from? To answer this question, we have to tell the information where I am from. Like, I am from Dinajpur. What is the difference? Look, in question number 1, there is no WH question word like where. And to answer this question, we can just say yes or no. But in question number 2, to answer the question, we have to tell the information like I am from Dinajpur. So we can call it is a WH question. Here is a list of some WH question word. Before going to learn how to make WH question, you have to learn the WH question words and their meaning too, so that you can use them appropriately. First of all, who. We use who to ask someone's name, like who is your brother. We use where to ask the name of a place, like where do you live? Why? It's also a WH question word, and we use this question word to know about the reason, like why are you crying? Again, when. We use this question word to know about the time, like when do you get up? Which, we use this question word to know about someone's choice, like which fruit do you like most? There are some more WH question words like whose. We use whose to know someone's positions, like whose pencil is this? Whom. We use this WH question word to know about the object of the verb, like whom do you want? This question word what we use to know the object or an idea or an action, like what is this, what is he talking about, what is she, Sometimes we use kind after the word WH word what, and what kind, this WH question word we use to know about the description, like what kind of book does he like. How, it's also a WH question word, and we use this word to know about the manner or the method, like how can we go there. Sometimes we use some adjective or adverbs with how, and we use these types of WH question words in different situations, like how many. We use how many to know about the amount of something, but it is only in case of countable noun. Okay, like how many chocolates do you have. We use much with how, and we use this WH question word to know about also the amount, but it is in case of uncountable noun, like how much sugar do you want. We use long with how long. We use this WH question word to know the duration, time duration or the length, like how long did they play. How often, we use it to know the to ask the frequency, like how often do you visit your grandmother. And how far we use it to know about the distance, like how far is their village. So dear students, you have to memorize these WH question words so that, and their meaning too, so that you can use them in appropriately. Okay, according to our PSC question pattern, you will be given 5 sentences in question number 9, and you have to solve you have to make 5 WH question with them. But before going to learn how to make WH question, you have to understand a sentence formation, like you have already read in class 3 or class 5, class 4, that a sentence has 2 parts. Okay, let's see. Here is a simple sentence. Jessica is from the United Kingdom. You know in a sentence, the word which is talking about, or the person about which is talking about, it is called subject. Okay, and the rest part of the sentence is called predicate. We can make WH question with these 2 parts, like subject or predicate. When you are asked to make WH question with the subject, what will you do? First, you have to put a WH question word. And what will be your WH question word? You have already seen many WH question words, but what will be your WH question word? You have to choose right WH question word according to the subject. If the subject is a person or a people, you have to use who, and if the subject is an object or an animal, you have to use what. And again, when the subject is a demonstrative pronoun like these, that, those, you have to use which. Let's try to understand with an example. Before going to example, you have to choose that WH question word according to the subject, and then you have to use the main verb directly and rest of the sentence. But it is only in case of indefinite tense. When the sentence is in indefinite tense, you have to just put a WH question word, and then you have to use the main verb directly plus rest of the sentence. Okay. Look, here is an example. They come to the club to practice English. In this sentence, they is the subject, and here is an underline. Here is an underline. So you have to make a WH question with the subject they. As we know, they, it refers to some people. So we can, what WH question word we will use here? We will use who. And what is the second step? Then we have to use the main verb directly. What is the main verb here? The main verb here is come. So we have to use come plus rest of the sentence. who come to the club to practice English. Again, here is another example. Education makes a man perfect. Education, it's an idea, or it's a thought, we can say. So what will be our WH question word? We can use here what, and then the main verb and rest part of the sentence. What makes a man perfect? Look carefully. Here we have not used any auxiliary verb or helping verb here after the WH question word. Okay, we need not to use it, but it is only in case of indefinite tense and in case of when we are asked to make WH question about the subject. When we are asked to make an WH question with the subject, and when the sentence is in indefinite tense, it can be present indefinite, it can be past indefinite, it can be future indefinite. In case of indefinite tense, we can just use the WH question word and the main verb directly and the rest part of the sentence. Okay, we need not to use any auxiliary verb here. Next, here is a question, here is a sentence again. Andy is going to the book fair. Look, here the underline is under Andy. Andy is the subject of this sentence, and look carefully, this sentence is not an indefinite tense or indefinite sentence. Okay, it is in continuous form. Andy is, and here is going, so it's in continuous form. So in this case, as Andy is a person, we use here who, and then we have to use the auxiliary verb or the helping verb and the main verb too. Who is going to the book fair? Look this example. This is my book. This is my book. Here the subject is this and it's a demonstrative pronoun, so we will use here which, and the auxiliary verb is, which is your book. But look carefully, here is a difference between these two sentences. What is this? My. In the sentence that is given, here is written my, but when we made the WH question, here we write your. You have to remember one more thing, that in the statement or in the sentence, if there is any first person, you have to turn it in second person. Okay, like here is my, but in WH question, when you write the WH question, you have to turn it in second person, which is your book. Now we will learn how to make WH question with the part predicate. With the part predicate, to make WH question with the part predicate, there are 3 rules, and you have to memorize this. Okay, the first rule: when there is a helping verb before the main verb, first put the question word at the starting and then invert the subject and the helping verb. When there is a helping verb before the main verb, যখন প্রেডিকেটের অংশে একটা সাহায্যকারী ভার্ব এবং তার সাথে একটা মেন ভার্বও থাকে, ফার্স্ট আমাদেরকে কি করতে হবে? প্রথমে পুট দ্য কোয়েশ্চেন ওয়ার্ড, আমাদেরকে সবার প্রথমে প্রশ্নবোধক শব্দটি বসাতে হবে অ্যাট দ্য স্টার্টিং, শুরুতেই, অ্যান্ড দেন ইনভার্ট দ্য সাবজেক্ট। ইনভার্ট হচ্ছে স্থান পরিবর্তন করা বা জায়গা পরিবর্তন করা। দেন ইনভার্ট দ্য সাবজেক্ট অ্যান্ড দ্য হেল্পিং ভার্ব। কোন দুটোর মধ্যে আমরা জায়গা পরিবর্তন করব? বলা হচ্ছে দ্য সাবজেক্ট অ্যান্ড দ্য হেল্পিং ভার্ব। ওই বাক্যে যে সাবজেক্ট এবং যে হেল্পিং ভার্বটা আছে সেই দুটোর মধ্যে আমরা স্থান পরিবর্তন করে দেব। যেমন হিয়ার ইজ অ্যান এক্সাম্পল: এ হেয়ার ওয়াজ ওয়াকিং ইন দ্য ফরেস্ট। ইন দিস সেন্টেন্স এ হেয়ার, ইট ইজ subject, and was walking in the forest, it is predicate. And the underline is under the in the forest. So from these words we can understand that it's a place. So to ask this we can use here where, but look, first put the question word at the starting. So what will be our question word? Where. Okay, where, and then then we have to invert the subject and the helping verb. Here is the subject and it is the helping verb. So we have to invert like this. So where was A here walking? Okay. The second rule, when there is no helping verb and the verb is only to be verb, simply add a question word at the starting and then invert the subject and the verb. বলছে when there is no helping verb, যদি ওই প্রেডিকেটেড অংশে যদি কোনো সাহায্যকারী ভার্ব না থাকে and the verb is only to be verb, যদি সাহায্যকারী ভার্ব হিসেবে ব্যবহার না হয় কিন্তু to be verb আমরা জানি am, is, are, was, were, এগুলোকে আমরা to be verb বলি। এই ভার্বগুলো শুধুমাত্র থাকে, কি করতে হবে, সিম্পলি আমাদেরকে কি করতে হবে, অ্যাড এ কোয়েশ্চেন ওয়ার্ড, অ্যান হতো, এখানে অ্যান হতো, ওকে, অ্যাড অ্যান কোয়েশ্চেন ওয়ার্ড, আমাদেরকে একটা প্রশ্নবোধক, ও না সরি দুঃখিত, এখানে এ ঠিকই আছে, অ্যাড এ কোয়েশ্চেন ওয়ার্ড, আমাদেরকে একটা প্রশ্নবোধক শব্দ বসাতে হবে অ্যাট দ্য স্টার্টিং, শব্দ বাক্যের শুরুতেই, অ্যান্ড দেন ইনভার্ট দ্য সাবজেক্ট অ্যান্ড দ্য ভার্ব, তারপরে আমাদেরকে সাবজেক্ট এবং ভার্বের মধ্যে জায়গা পরিবর্তন করে দিতে হবে। আমরা একটা উদাহরণ দেখি। মিস্টার রাশিদুল ইজ আ ব্যাংকার। মিস্টার রাশিদুল একজন ব্যাংক কর্মকর্তা। হিয়ার ইজ, ইট ইজ এ টু বি ভার্ব, ইট ইজ টু বি ভার্ব অ্যান্ড to solve this we have to first add a question word at the starting. Okay, imagine the underline is under the banker. Okay, the underline is under the banker. So when we ask someone's about someone's profession or occupation, what WH question word we use? We use what? Okay, what, and then invert the subject and the verb. Here Mr. Rashidul is the subject and the verb is. So we have to invert them. What is Mr. Rashidul Islam? Rule number 3. When there is no helping verb or a to be verb, just put the question word at the starting first. Next, put the helping verb do in correct form. Then the subject plus the main verb and the other words will be in same order. এই ক্ষেত্রে কি বলছে দেখো, when there is no helping verb, যদি ওই প্রেডিকেটের অংশে কোনো সাহায্যকারী ভার্ব or a to be verb অথবা কোনো to be verb হিসেবে কোনো ভার্ব না থাকে, am, is, are এগুলো না থাকে, জাস্ট পুট দ্য কোয়েশ্চেন ওয়ার্ড, আমাদেরকে শুধুমাত্র প্রশ্নবোধক শব্দটা বসাতে হবে আগে অ্যাট দ্য স্টার্টিং প্রথমেই। নেক্সট এরপরে করতে হবে পুট দ্য হেল্পিং ভার্ব ডু ইন কারেক্ট ফর্ম, আমাদেরকে প্রশ্নটা সঠিকভাবে সাজানোর জন্য সাহায্যকারী ভার্ব হিসেবে ডু এর ব্যবহার করতে হবে, কিন্তু বলছে ইন কারেক্ট ফর্ম। কীভাবে, কি কোনটা সঠিক, ডু এর আমরা জানি অনেকগুলো ফর্ম আছে না, ডু, ডিড, ডান, না ডাজ, এরকম অনেকগুলো ফর্ম আছে, তো কোন ফর্মে আমরা ডুটাকে ব্যবহার করব সেটা কিন্তু আমাদেরকে বুঝতে হবে, আমি আলোচনা করব। দেন দ্য সাবজেক্ট, এরপরে সাবজেক্ট অ্যান্ড দ্য মেইন ভার্ব অ্যান্ড আদার ওয়ার্ডস উইল বি ইন সেম অর্ডার, এবং সেন্টেন্সের বাদ বাকি ওয়ার্ডগুলো একইভাবে বসবে। যেমন দেখো, হি প্লেজ কাবাডি, হি প্লেজ কাবাডি, হিয়ার দ্য আন্ডারলাইন ইজ আন্ডার কাবাডি, ইটস এ নেম অফ এ স্পোর্টস অর এ গেম। সো what will be our WH question word? First, we have to put the question word at the starting. It's a name, so we can use here what, what. Next step, next put the helping verb do in correct form. You have to remember one thing, that when the main verb is in present form, you have to use do. But if the main verb is in past form, you have to use did. Again, if the main verb is with s, you have to use does. Or you can say, if the subject is third person singular number, he, she, it, or any other name, we have to use does. Here look, this main verb play with s because the subject is third person singular number he. So after what, we have to use the correct form of do, and it is does. What does, and then the subject he and the main verb and other words will be in same order. What does he play? Look carefully here, as we use does, we will never use the s again with the word play. Okay. One more example. The bus reached the museum at 10 a.m. Here the underline is under the 10 a.m. So it refers to time. So what will be our WH question word? The word will be when. When. And what is the main verb? The main verb reached. Reached, and it is in past form. So we have to use the correct form of do, and it is did. When did, then the subject, bus, and the rest part of the sentence, the museum. When did the bus reach the museum? Okay. One more example. Babul and his family live on the island. Babul and his family live on the island. On the island is the name of a place. So we can use here where. And what is the main verb? What is the form? It is present form. Live, present form. So we have to use here do. The subject is not a singular form. It is plural form. Okay. Where do Babul and his family? Where do Babul and his family live? It's time for homework. So there are lots of rule, and you have to first you have to understand the WH question word, their meaning, and you have to memorize them so that you can use them appropriately in appropriate order. Okay. In your English second paper book, look at page 215 to 218. There are so many examples, and you can solve number 1 to number 25. Okay, it is your homework, so try to do this you by yourself. Okay, be safe at home, and hope you have enjoyed, and please do the homeworks. Thank you very much.